How many of you have dealt with disappointment? Two hands up, right? Not getting the job that you wanted, or the people who you felt like should have been there for you or more supportive weren't really there at all. The relationship didn't work out, right? Just all the kids not acting right, not listening, not following instructions, or maybe even disappointed in yourself, right? You not doing what you feel like you could do, or you know you could do better, or come harder, or come stronger, right? Disappointment is part of life, and it's a horrible part of life because we look at things and we expect them to go a certain way. And see, that's the problem right there. We have all these expectations in people, expectations in things, expectations in ourselves, and we should definitely expect more or greatness from ourselves, but not to the point to where we're draining ourselves or it ends up in disappointment because we put too much weight on our own shoulders, right? Disappointment is a heavy load, and that comes because we expect things from people and situations that we shouldn't be expecting. When you just go through life and let it flow how it's supposed to or how it needs to, that eliminates the disappointment because you are allowing life and people to be who they are and allowing situations to flow how they're supposed to flow. When we put expectations on things, especially people, we're going to be disappointed every time, right? We expect our loved ones to support everything we do, everything from little kids. We expect our family and our friends to be there to have our back, to watch us take our first step, play our first basketball game, dance at our first recital, play our first football game, right? We are expecting all of these things to happen. But what we don't take into account is life, right? We don't take into account that life happens. And sometimes people have the best intentions, but it still it doesn't show up that way. And we look at things at face value and we say, oh, well, you didn't show up because you didn't care. Or you didn't do this because you're selfish. And we have to stop doing that. First of all, we have to stop putting expectations on people because it's not their job to be at our beck and call. And that may sound crazy, right? Because it's like, dude, these are our loved ones. When we have something going on that's special, they're supposed to be there, right? When we're doing something important, they're supposed to be there, especially if you are always the one that's there for them, right? So you hold what you do over their heads. And it's like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that because you're definitely going to be disappointed every single time. We expect our significant other to answer the phone every time we call, respond to our text message as soon as it goes through. Like, I know you saw my message. Why it take you 5 minutes to respond to me, right? It's some of y'all out there, don't play. Right? We expect our children to listen and follow directives just like that, first time they're told. Knowing good and well when you were younger, you had to be threatened before you followed some of them instructions, right? Keeping your room clean, behaving in school, right? So we have to take a step back and look at the bigger picture, especially when the situation deals with people that we know. You know if this person has good intentions. If they say, yes, I'm gonna be there for you and can't make it, it wasn't because that they didn't want to show up for you. Or you come out with a new business or a new brand and you have this whole list of people that, okay, I'm gonna sell it to this, I'm gonna sell it to this person, this person, this person, this person, and none of them buy your stuff. Right? Like I've been there, and trust me, I have a full circle of supporters, but I still, look at some people like, why you didn't, So it's natural, it's normal, and it's like a reflex. But we can't do that because we're the ones that end up walking around with our heads down and resentful towards people and, sad and regretful. Like maybe I shouldn't have invited you, or maybe I shouldn't have told you about this, and that. Or I'm not going to do this anymore because I don't have anybody to support me. We can't go through life like that, right? Like even in school or your job, you feel like, oh, I should have got a raise. And guess what? They gave it to the next person. But I bust my, right? I come to work every day on time. I do everything I'm supposed to do. And it didn't come for you. So now you're mad. Now your feelings hurt. Wondering, why didn't I get the raise? Why didn't I get the promotion? Why didn't I get the kudos and the certificate and the recognition? I do more than they do, right? Why did the teacher didn't give me a gold star? Who tell me you haven't been there. Tell me you haven't felt that way at some point in your life. And we do that because we hold expectations over people and things and opportunities, and we cannot do that. We cannot. Life is too unpredictable. People are too unpredictable. Things happen. People change their minds, right? Life does what life does. So you have to keep an open mind and an open heart when it comes to feeling like somebody or something was supposed to do what you think they should have done. Right? We have to stop doing that because disappointment hurts. It really does. And sometimes it's hard to get over, especially when it's a loved one involved, because we definitely hold expectations over them. We definitely look at them and say, yeah, you need to do whatever I feel like you should be doing right now. You should be supporting my every move. But it just doesn't work out that way. Even in relationships, you cannot expect your partner or your significant other to do everything that you think they should do and then get upset when they don't do it. It's like whatever is going on in your mind, sometimes it doesn't translate, it doesn't compute, right? So you have to take a step back and say, okay, well, maybe they don't know that I was expecting them to do this. Maybe my husband didn't know that I was expecting him to stop at the store on his way home from work. Maybe my girlfriend didn't know that I was expecting her to have my bath water ready, because I'm coming home at 8 instead of 10 like I usually do. Right? Like, we can't keep holding stuff over people's heads. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. And we are stuck, the ones looking crazy and feeling the type of way because of our expectations turning into disappointment. First of all, we have to communicate better. We have to learn to communicate better and express what we're looking for, what our thoughts are, what our feelings are. And if it's not that type of situation, right, we still have to hold our own position and let things go how they go. We can't expect our loved ones and our family members and our friends and our coworkers and whoever else is in our circle to be there 110% because things happen. And sometimes things don't happen. They just didn't want to do it. And we have to accept that too. You can't always expect people to do things like you would do them, or for people to do things for you that you would do for somebody else. You have to accept that that's just not how life goes. And you have to appreciate those who are there for you, even in spirit, right? You have to accept those and appreciate those who are there for you when you really need them. You have to accept and appreciate that you have a job to go to. We have to accept and appreciate the things that we do have and not be so hell-bound and disappointed by our expectations that didn't fall through like we wanted them to. We have to get out of our own way because sometimes we're the problem. We don't want to think of it like that, but sometimes we're the problem. And sometimes we don't really express how we feel or how we thinking. So we just keep getting disappointed over and over and over and over and over again because the person on the other side didn't realize, oh, this is how you felt about that. This is how you looked at that. Especially in business. Oh, if you're running a business, you definitely cannot have expectations because 99.9% of the time, your family and friends do not support. Yeah, I'm lucky that my family is very supportive. My friends are very supportive. But, there's still times where I feel like, dang, why my people didn't do this? Or why they didn't come to this? Or, why they haven't bought this? So, but for the most part, you can't hold things over people's heads because they're normal, they're human, and just like you don't go to every recital, you don't go to every fashion show, every football game, you don't buy every single product that every single person sells or use every service, right? Like, you have to look at it like that and just don't expect things from people, although they may have the best intentions. It just doesn't always work out how we want it. But just appreciate and be grateful for the people who are there for you and the things that you do have, because whoever it is or whatever it is, that's what counts. That's what matters. That's what you need to be focused on. So don't worry about the distractions. Don't worry about the disappointments. Don't worry about the expectations. Worry about what you do have and who you do have in your corner. Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters.